Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Stay. Stay. Yeah. I see you, bud. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. All right. What's up, Spears Bro 694? All right, let's watch this fucking show. Welcome to the stream, first time chatter.
Josh is taking a sick day today. He has a case of the butt boils, if you know what I mean. And we're going to be making 15-minute steak dishes, each and every one of us, and V is going to decide which one is the best.
There she is.
That's V. She's right over there. All right, y'all ready to get cooking?
Yeah.
Say, let's get cooking.
Let's get cooking.
Oh, there's my announcement.
All right, Trevor, here is my steak dish. Can you guess what it is?
So I'm gonna guess that it's some sort of, we've got bread here.
Okay.
Indicative,
Very observant.
indicative
yes.
of a sandwich, perhaps.
Yes.
Okay. So it's a sandwich.
Yep, it's a New York strip steak sandwich with blue cheese butter. Does the clock start as soon as I touch a utensil?
It's been going for 4 minutes.
Oh my god. I'm gonna take this New York strip, and I know what you're saying, Nicole. This is the dinkiest steak I've ever seen in the history of the world. And that's right. You know what I did? I asked the butcher. I said, give me the smallest steak you got. And then this
okay.
is what my lovely local butcher at Whole Foods gave me.
Nice.
Because
okay.
I don't have time to, if I'm cooking for myself, which I assume this is what's going on right now, I'm not going to be taking a big old hunk of meat because whenever whenever steak sits, and you got to reheat
All
it,
right,
it's not
Coda.
the same.
See you later.
And I'm not interested in that kind of lifestyle.
Would you prefer that I heckle or help?
May I ask for heckling right now?
Heckling?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that pepper cracking. That's crazy. You better get cooking, Nicole, because you only got 15 minutes.
This is stressful.
So you better go quick, fast.
Is there going to be a timer? Because if
That
there is,
thing
I
hot?
didn't sign up for this. Yeah, it's pretty hot.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's smoking. Is
It's-
that too hot?
No,
Oh my
it's
god.
Not too hot because we want
Wow.
a nice quick sear. So instead of putting it actually on one side, I'm just going to start searing the fat cap first.
Whoa. Okay.
Because I want to impart that beefy flavor
All right.
all throughout my meat.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
just going to kind of babysit it right here a
That's
little
what
bit.
she said.
A little bit of that fat lingering.
Do you want to be helpful now?
Sure.
Okay, so take some of that blue cheese and just go ahead and crumble it. You can use a fork if you'd like.
Touch it.
You can use a fork. You can use a
Why
fork.
didn't I wash my hands? So what would you prefer?
What the heck, man? How many years have you been here? You gotta wash your hands before you start cooking here.
Okay, where'd you want me to crumble it?
Straight into that butter. So we got some softened butter, and then we're gonna add some blue cheese to it. It's gonna be nice and sexy.
Fingers stink now. How many blue cheese?
You know, it's kind of whatever your preference is. Do you like a strong blue cheese flavor?
No, actually, my preference would have been none.
Oh, well then
So-
add like another tablespoon more. I think steak and blue cheese is a beautiful combination of flavors, actually. I'm sorry that you're not a big fan.
I'm just not blue cheese. I'm not a big blue cheese guy.
I am a big
know.
blue cheese girl.
See, I know a lot of you out there thinking, wow, Trevor, you suck. I hate you. You're the worst. And to that, I say that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm just gonna chop up some parsley, real rough and wild here. I'm not looking for like beautiful knife cuts.
Rough and wild, huh?
Yeah.
That was my nickname in high school.
You good, buddy? Oh, Trevor, I have some really exciting news to share with you.
What's the news?
Guess what?
What?
Good Mythical Evening is coming back.
Yes, more Peanuts jokes.
Yeah, more Peanuts jokes and more debauchery. But
Yeah.
the theme this year, I'm gonna let him know what the theme is.
Okay.
It's pain and pleasure.
7 p.m. August 24th.
What's going on, Alien
Get your
IQ?
tickets,
What's going
or
on,
I'm
Alien?
Gonna freak out.
Can you take
I'm
over?
back,
That
bro.
looks pretty good. That's beautiful. Go ahead and pull it, and you can leave it on the cutting board.
How's it going?
Hot bread,
All right.
hot bread.
That looks awesome. Beautiful toast on that. Oh, thanks. Wow, look at all that space. All that space, yeah. Wow, that was really good. That was awesome. So, while the bread is still hot, I'm gonna take a swipe of this bow tar.
Peanut, I know.
And the fun part about this
I know.
butter is
Too
you can
easy.
save it for
Too
later.
easy.
You can accompany it with other things like chicken and what's some other protein?
Oh, I should probably make my
chicken, fish.
camera
I
thing
don't
a
know
little
blue cheese and fish.
smaller. There
This
we
is a
go.
good idea.
I'm so
sorry.
I don't know. Okay, now let's go ahead and cut into this steak. Normally you would let it rest, but I don't care.
You don't play by the rules,
No,
Nicole.
never.
That's freaking right.
Never.
We
do
don't
I
play
ever.
by the rules in the mythical kitchen.
Never do I ever. You know what they say?
What do they say?
When the what is the saying? When the cat's away, the mice.
What's
will
going
play.
on? Not
Tom
funny,
and Jerry.
didn't laugh 19.
So I'm just gonna take some of my steak.
I love
and just lay
saying
it
your
right on
username
there.
out loud.
Wowie zowie.
Pretty gorgeous.
It's
And
great.
then I'm gonna take these red peppers.
What's going on?
Anything for me? I got, you know,
Dude, you're doing so good just hanging out with me. I
Cool.
appreciate it.
Obviously,
check on these greens.
All right.
I'm
So,
not
I'm
in
gonna
my
take
own
some
place
jarred
yet,
roasted red peppers, which is
so
a hack, by
we
the
can't
way.
play
It's a perfect way to add flavor into
Jackbox.
salads
but-
and blend it up into your soups. Honestly, freaking delicious. I'm gonna take a nice
I
little
get
mound
I
of
will have my
olive oil
setup
right
in my
here.
new
I'm going to
place
add- I don't even
in
need the
less
olive
than
oil.
a
I think
week,
the
or no,
butter
probably a
does the
week.
job of the olive oil. I don't even need
So
it.
we'll be back to
So I'm just gonna
Jackbox
take
very
some of this
soon.
red wine vinegar to cut through that fattiness, and I'm gonna season it with a touch of salt.
Thank you all for coming
And then a
and
nice-
watching.
Cracky crack of black pepper.
Let's watch these people fuck
And
some
there's
shit.
a sandwich,
You know what I'm saying?
baby.
Here you go.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks, good snack. So there's your steak sandwich. How much time did that take? 12 minutes.
Wow.
So we're gonna
We had a
watch.
delicious sandwich in 12 minutes. Go watch your show. Oh, was that a high five?
We're gonna watch at some point. I don't know if you've seen it, but Ted Nivison. I moved, Alien. I'm moving. I moved to Chicago and my own place. So I'm at my friend's house. They graciously allowed me to stay here while I found a place in Chicago, and I found a place and I got approved, and I'm moving in a week. So that's why I'm on a MacBook, not on my PC playing video games or shit. I'm in their guest room, which is a great room. It's a great room, and they're very gracious hosts. But I will be back on my with my setup in a week. So, yeah.
I thought.
And the
Okay.
view is going to be nasty. It's going to be a nasty view. Right in downtown
Howdy there.
Chicago.
It's me, Trevor.
Buildings and the
Lily.
What's
build.
up,
Oh,
Trevor?
it's
Hi, Lily.
nasty.
Okay,
You'll
Lily,
see. You'll see soon.
Can you get started mincing some shallots?
Yeah,
with our-
chef!
You can just do like half the shallot. That was really
Okay.
aggressive. No, it's okay. You got it. Just take your time. It's not that
Okay.
serious. It's gonna be okay. So what I'm doing is I'm making a gnocchi with cream sauce and then a skirt steak with some Calabrian chilies. Pretty simple cream sauce. You know me. I love cream sauce. You know me. Classic Trevor, right? He loves the cream sauce. I'm gonna get this gnocchi going in here. So that's boiling water. The gnocchi's gonna cook. That's what pasta does when you put it in boiling water. While that's happening, I'm gonna take this cast iron. I'm gonna get it back on this hot burner because it was a little bit too hot. How's it going, Lily?
It's good, chef.
You don't have to. It's okay. You don't
It's
have to.
good.
You don't. It's. This isn't where.
Order fire the gnocchi.
Okay, so
Am I streaming on
It's
YouTube?
seasoned up. So this is a skirt steak, so it's gonna cook really quickly.
Let's only check.
It's
I mean,
very
I'll
thin
just
cut
check.
of meat.
I
So you're
think
not.
I'm
You're
streaming
really just
on
gonna want to
YouTube,
get a
too.
hard sear on it. On both
accident.
sides. And
Oh,
then
I am
it
on
should be
YouTube,
ready. Yeah. Right hand has meat on it. Okay. I shouldn't have done this because now I have to salt and pepper with my.
Help?
No.
I can pause on the garlic.
No. Go.
Okay.
Steak going in the pan, chef.
In the pan, chef.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
chef.
Oh, that's a nice little sound. Yes, you're just going to get nice parts here. I'm going to press it down. Dang it. Now both hands are meat hands.
That's a nice sound, chef.
That's a nice sound. Both hands are meat hands. Both hands are towel hands. I need that garlic and shallots.
Okay, chef.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I got a lot of burners. Oh, are you done?
I'm done.
Rick, okay, so that gnocchi.
No way, like
is
2.5
going.
hours away. Welcome
When
to
it floats
Illinois.
to the top is when
Move
it's
to a better
done.
state. Taxes
I'm
are
ready
higher
for it
here.
to-
I just
it's
moved from
starting to float.
California.
It's
So what do you
Okay,
want?
I'm getting this
What do you?
out of here.
I know
This
what taxes
foil
are.
is gonna go here. That steak
Trust
is
me.
in there. I got tongs down there, whisk, gnocchi's floating, pepper, salt, flour, butter, cheese, Lily.
I'm here.
Actually, gonna make more money
Shallots.
here because
Okay,
taxes
give
are
me a sec. I'm
a little bit less than,
Because here's the thing is they need
California,
to see
so.
what I'm cooking. The cameras do.
saying.
So I would
There's
normally.
people behind the camera.
There's people there and they need to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna let it go for a second. I'm gonna take a breather. I think we take a rest, take a reset.
Yes, chef.
What is
Yeah.
that?
This is a.
You didn't know I was in
Is
California?
it no?
No,
I-
it's a pastry card. It's a pastry card, chef. It's just a
Are
test.
you okay? Well, I was asking because I haven't seen that one before, so I just did
yeah,
you
it's
buy
new.
it
It's
recently?
new, yeah.
You got a new one.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
that's
came
cool.
with our,
I'm sorry, chef.
Is it floating? Is it done?
It fit in the pot.
Is it done?
okay. I think it's. Where are you gonna put it in the bowl?
In the bowl, it's going back in the bowl, it's going back in the bowl. That's so much gnocchi.
Okay.
How much
Maybe you
can
don't
one
want
man
to
eat?
It's just one.
How much can
portion.
one man eat?
We just have
Ow!
one. We have one ticket on the board.
Back in the
One
pan.
ticket on the board.
Heat's on.
Just gotta do that.
Okay, butter. I'm going butter straight on the counter. About a tablespoon. Get that in there. High. Fork. Out of here. Gnocchi. I gotta wait for the butter.
Hey,
You
just-
set that there. It's okay. Can you calm down? Can you calm down? 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Okay.
We're just chilling. We're chilling. We're vibing. It's good. I've got a spatula. I'm gonna get that butter. This pan should be hot. So then,
Oh, it's starting to get a little Maillard reaction.
oh my God, yeah.
What's that spoon?
Okay, so
All
I've
right,
got a spoon here.
fuck this video. I'm sick of this video. We're gonna watch Eddie, whatever the fuck his name is. Visit all the Margaritavilles in the United States of fucking America. That's the country I live in. Fuck is he? Where is he? Eddie Burback. All right, here we go.
Quote on the wall, and I
Here we go.
I think we made it to Margaritaville. I don't know about you.
so you clicked on the video thinking, is this guy really gonna go to every Margaritaville in the country? Well, technically, that title.
Yeah, I
is
have a-
lie. Because I'm going.
I
to
have a
every
kick,
Margaritaville
too.
in the country.
I have a kick.
And Canada.
But, you know, I'm not gonna-
Margaritaville, a tropical beach-themed restaurant chain created by America's greatest singer-songwriter, James William Buffett, aka Jimmy Buffett. Now, if you don't know who Jimmy Buffett is, let me catch you up before we hit the road.
Hi, I'm Jimmy.
Jimmy Buffett is a multi-platinum artist who's been touring the world since the 1980s.
Yeah, that was an epic
But think
intro.
of Jimmy
Absolutely
less as a
epic intro.
musician and more like royalty. Because this man has built an empire in the last few decades by not just writing tropical country-style songs, but by creating a world around his music. And no song has built that empire more than Margaritaville. Margaritaville is a simple tune created by Jimmy in the late 70s that then inspired the creation of his restaurant, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. As the business started to thrive, they made Margaritaville shirts, shot glasses, keychains, and other merch until they expanded to Margaritaville hotels and resorts across the globe. But the restaurant that started it all is the official Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. There are 22 locations in the United States and Canada, with one in development in Boston, Massachusetts. And we will be hitting every single one. Last year, Ted Nivison and I went to every single Rainforest Cafe in the country. There were 18 total locations, and it took us 3 weeks to do it. The trip also nearly drove me insane.
What's the future? Yeah, I do. I have a kick.
So you must be thinking, what kind
I'll be
of
on there,
moron
but
would go on
let me
such a
just get my
pointless
setup
road trip,
first before
not enjoy it,
I'll start
and then decide
doing all that
just
shit.
1 year later to do another, even longer, pointless road trip. The night before we started our trip across the entire United States for 24 days, we decided to go to the first Margaritaville. Now, the closest one located to us is the one at City Walk at Universal Studios Hollywood. City Walk is just an outdoor mall in front of the theme park, but you might recognize it from Justin Bieber's famous music video, Baby. And I can't tell you what kind of honor it was to start this journey where Ludacris himself told us that when he was 13, he had his first love. As we headed toward the restaurant, I was getting increasingly nervous because this trip is even longer. So I was about to find out what I was dedicating a 12th of my year to. After finally arriving, we were greeted almost immediately by the Margaritaville sign. I could not have guessed what was inside. Jimmy Buffett's likeness plastered across the entire restaurant. Jimmy's music was playing on the speakers. There was Jimmy-themed food, Jimmy drinks. There was a giant Jimmy Buffett's margarita blender. There were even screens playing Jimmy video at the table. It began to dawn on me that this restaurant wasn't named after just one song, Margaritaville, that Jimmy Buffett made. This entire restaurant was a cult dedicated to everything Jimmy Buffett. They even had my favorite Jimmy Buffett quote on the wall. Pour me something tall and strong. This door is to remain unlocked during business hours. As we were seated, we were given the absolute honor of sitting at the boat table. Now, the boat table was interesting because it's a table that looks like a boat. But finally, it was time for the moment of truth. The menu. I was about to find out what 22 meals of the next 24 days of my life would look like. And to my surprise, it actually wasn't that bad. On our last trip, I was shocked to find things like Mojo Bones, Boom Boom Sauce, Iggy's Piggy Sandwich, and more. But this menu looked pretty normal, other than the fact that the names of the items were themed to Jimmy Buffett songs that I didn't know. For my drink, I ordered the Perfect Margarita, and as somebody who loves margaritas, I feel like that name is a little too confident, and after tasting it, I was correct. Perfect Margarita? Jimmy, I might want to call this the Just Okay Margarita. Now that's a Buffett burn. The group got some onion rings as an appetizer, and as we waited for our entrees, we were just having a good time. I did notice that there was a stage in this restaurant. It looks like it's fully prepared for live music, but it was completely empty for us, so I'm kind of wondering what that's all about. For my entree, I decided to start my Margaritaville marathon with a cheeseburger in paradise, which I believe is Jimmy's second biggest song. The burger was exactly what you'd expect.
Amazon don't need money.
I also
Yeah,
need to
I
stress that
know.
we are not
I
being
don't even
paid
use
by
Amazon.
Margaritaville on
I haven't
this trip,
used
so
Amazon
as
in
this journey
like
progresses, I will
10
be
years.
criticizing Margaritaville the whole
I hate
way.
Jeff
But
Bezos.
Jimmy, if you're
You
watching
can ask
this,
any of my
I do
fucking
take
friends. I don't go to Whole
bribes.
Foods.
So our first dinner experience experience
Obviously,
was
I'm on
exactly what
Twitch.
you'd
I get
expect
it.
out of
I
a
get
chain
it.
restaurant.
But,
the
you
food
know,
and drinks were just okay.
I do my
But
part.
it was a dinner
I
with
do
a
my
bunch
part
of friends
to
where we were
boycott
just having drinks
where I
and
can.
hanging out. So I had a blast. But that fun was cut short because it was time to say goodbye. Ted and I officially sealed our fate with a handshake because tomorrow we begin one of the most pointless journeys of our entire lives. So I woke up this morning with a stomach ache. I think it was almost definitely the Margaritaville food because I had nothing but a breakfast sandwich that morning and then the cheeseburger in paradise and 2 perfect margaritas.
What's up,
Taking this
Sid?
Margaritaville trip will mean
What's
that I've
going
learned
on?
2 too
Yes,
late.
Taylor
I've
is
already
live.
experienced my
I am
first
live.
casualty. My tummy. My tummy hurts. I have a tummy ache. I really hope my tummy doesn't hurt most days of the trip. No. My tummy hurts. You guys don't know how hard it is to be a YouTuber. So the plan for the first day was to drive from LA to Phoenix because the next Margaritaville on our trip was the one in San Antonio, Texas. Now last year we took Ted's 2002 Toyota Tacoma across the country. And Ted is over there with the Tacoma as it gets loaded onto a tow truck. So this year, to avoid ruining Ted's car for good, we decided to rent a newer Tacoma. And I'll be honest, Ted was in denial quite a bit.
It's not squeaking. It's fine.
I feel like I'm hearing a squeak right now. This is too clean.
The tires are fine.
I have ears like a dog, so maybe it might be dog whistle.
I think it might be tinnitus.
So for the second and final time, we hit the road again. Over 9,000 miles, 22 restaurants, and 24 days
Big
on
stars
the
are going
road.
to. Yeah, I know.
24 days of my
I
life
know.
for
It was Sid's in the
Margaritaville.
chat now.
One
Sid's
thing
in the
Ted
chat.
and I
He's
immediately
a
realized
kick
while
streamer now.
driving was that we did not get a truck cover for the rental. And you can't just have your stuff out in the open for rain or for somebody to steal. We decided to go with camo so people wouldn't
I had
see
to
our
pee.
valuables in the
Hold on.
truck bed. They would assume there was just a nice little forest back there. Finally, it was time for bed. We had completed the first day of our new journey, but not before we experienced the smoothest and quietest elevator ride of my entire life.
Jesus.
Day 2, the plan for the day is to drive from Phoenix to El Paso. I went for a quick run in the morning and then I hopped into my favorite elevator. Once again, we hit the open road, and I gotta say, as someone who's been pretty busy lately, it's been really nice to just drive and not think about it. Wait, what is that? What is the thing? Sorry, as I was saying, it's just good to get out there and hit the open road. Is that another the thing sign? Okay, there are a lot of the thing signs, and we need to stop for gas anyways, so I guess we'll pull off and see it. I would never be able to guess, though, what was in store for me behind those doors. In front of us was an entire museum dedicated to the what-if scenario of if aliens had come to Earth while dinosaurs were here. Now, I didn't know you could make an entire museum off of a hypothetical scenario, but apparently the aliens had come to teach the dinosaurs technology, and they were there to teach them technology until a war broke out between the aliens and the dinosaurs. The war got to a point where eventually the aliens
All right,
had to
I'm
click a
back.
big button and send a meteor hurtling towards Earth. And the exhibit didn't stop there. It told us about all the hypothetical secrets of our history. What if the aliens were a part of World War II? What if they drove around Winston Churchill in a car? And what if 9/11?
How's my YouTube?
What I think that we're implying here.
What if?
My YouTube is
did
suffering.
it.
My
Finally, it was time.
I can't even
for the
pause
main
this because
event.
my computer is losing its fucking mind. Hold on.
Ted and I inched toward it, terrified of what this secret would hold.
Oh my god, this computer is dying. It's not even. Can't wait to have my PC back. My YouTube. It's not great. I haven't been able to make videos in a while, but I vlogged my my road trip. I vlogged my road trip from California to Chicago. I vlogged the whole like 4 or 5 days, and I'm putting together a video, and I will drop it. And then once I drop it, then I will be back. Once it's dropped, I will be back in my my new place in Chicago, and then I'll be back on my YouTube grind again. But yeah, it's been a couple months since I've I'm doing the Hater Raider review shorts here and there. You know, pass the time while I get settled in. You know, I'm moving. I moved my whole fucking life. I lived in that fucking place for 4 years, and now I moved. So, you know, it's not like I'm gonna just be able to just fucking do it like nothing ever happened, you know. But get out my computer set up in a week, and we'll be back on the shit. I'm committed. So I'm coming back. This is why I'm streaming on a stupid MacBook right now.
What it would mean to our lives.
Committed.
And I was shocked to find that it was just some paper mache fake skeleton thing. And not only that, the guy who said he found the thing's name was Binkley. Number one rule in life, I'm not listening to anyone named Binkley. Day 3, and it is time for Margaritaville number 2. Ted and I spent most of our day crossing about halfway.
I got a nice
Texas
place.
until
It's
we
in
finally
Streeterville.
arrived at the San Antonio River.
Right next to the Navy
We
Pier.
actually came here last year, and I
Real
just like
nice
this
view.
spot a lot. It's a very beautiful place in the city.
I'm excited.
So we finally located our second Margaritaville and met up with our friend Schlatt, who would be joining us for this meal. Now, this being my second Margaritaville ever, I was actually surprised that it looked somewhat similar to the one in City Walk, but it also had like a Texas twist to all of the theming. Immediately when we sat down, I spotted this quote on the wall, and I had to know where it was from. Turns out it's from one of Jimmy's songs called Who's the Blonde Stranger, where the main character of the song vacations in Texas with his wife, then proceeds to cheat on her with a blonde stranger while she's getting over a sunburn, but when he wakes up hungover, he finds that she's also cheating on him with a different blonde stranger named Dan. Is this important to the overall trip? No. Is it important to me that you knew this? Yes. Anyways, I ordered the fish and chips. Margaritaville has so much fried fish and shrimp on the menu.
Yeah, I'm
I
an
thought
LA
I should
Dodgers
definitely
fan.
try their
I
fish
will
and
always
chips
I will
because it
always
must
be.
a
I will wear
flagship
my
dish for them. As we waited
I have
for
to
our
find
food,
another
ordered
I have to get a new one because this one's getting dirty.
margarita that was way
I'm gonna get
too
another LA
sweet.
hat.
I also mentioned a stage at the last
I'm not-
Margaritaville where it looked like live music could be played.
I've chosen
that was
my-
happening
I've
here,
chosen
which was kinda
LA.
nice to hear just somebody play live
not gonna-
music in
I'm gonna
a
wear this
chain
hat
restaurant.
all the time.
Finally, my fish and
It ain't
chips
going away.
arrived, and these look like frozen fish fillets to you, right?
Hey, Eddie, I cooked those up in my microwave the other day.
They tasted okay, and we had a fun time just chatting and drinking over dinner. We seemed to be in the most Texas corner of the entire restaurant. It had the two things that Texas is famous for: cattle and a big old puddle next to your table. When you see a big old puddle, you know you're in Texas. After finishing dinner, we decided to stroll around the even bigger puddle, the San Antonio River, but not before Ted gracefully
That's
took
cool.
his
You don't
seat
have
in
to do
this big
sports.
Margaritaville chair. And honestly, after
But
it was just a really nice
I'm
time
LA boy
strolling
still.
around this area.
Even
I
in
remember
Chicago,
liking
so.
this last year, but for some reason I
Deal with
associate
it.
with something negative. And I can't quite put my finger on what it was, but honestly, I'm having such a good time that it doesn't even matter anymore. All right, I think it's time to head to bed for the night. Okay, day 4 of the trip, and we're headed from Austin, Texas to New Orleans, Louisiana. And as we made our way across Texas, we decided to stop at Buc-ee's. If you're unaware of what Buc-ee's is, it is a chain of absolutely massive gas stations. It is chaotic in there, but people love it. They make their own food inside, they have their own merch. People lose their mind for
Quake.
Buc-ee, but to be honest,
Damn, I haven't
it
heard
kinda
that in a
creeps
while.
me out a little bit. And some of these Buc-ee's are so big, busy, and frantic that as a child, you could easily get lost. Buc-ee's nuts. Ted,
Yeah, I'm in the bed, yeah.
did I say
Yeah.
child? Because I meant adult. I have lost Ted. I am not freaking out.
Yeah,
and Buc-ee
I'm in my-
doesn't scare me, but yeah, where is Ted? I can't find Ted. All I can find is everything Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's rubs, Buc-ee's nuts, Buc-ee's pillows, Buc-ee's blankets, Buc-ee's onesies. This place is so big, I'm never gonna find him. I'm gonna be stuck in this Buc-ee's forever. I'm gonna have to move in with Buc-ee. He's gonna be my roommate. Where is Ted? Oh, he's just at the checkout aisle. Whew. Crisis averted. We also ran into this dude Braden who had met us last year while we were on the trip for the Rainforest Cafes because he watches our videos. What are the odds that we see the same guy in a different part of Texas 1 year later for this trip?
Holy
After
shit.
our stop at Buc-ee's, we drove all the way
What the
to
fuck?
New Orleans. No Margaritaville this night, so we went out on Bourbon Street and had some drinks and a good time. I didn't record a lot because I just wanted to focus on relaxing and having a good time, so we will see you tomorrow. Hitting the road today is special because for the first time on the trip, Ted and I are headed to stay at our first Margaritaville hotel. This one was in Biloxi, Mississippi, and we were shocked pulling into the parking lot. Before us was a massive building right on the water of the Gulf of Mexico. But Ted needed the room to get some work done, so I decided to explore and see what this whole place was all about. And as I headed up the escalator in the main part of the building, I was met with one of the largest arcades I'd ever seen in my life. They had everything: rock climbing,
Also,
zip lines, bowling, and
check
even
this
the
out.
globally known and incredibly popular
Google where the largest arcade, or the arcade with the most games in the world is. It's in Brookfield, Illinois, where my friend's house is. The house that I'm currently in. It's got like 938 arcade games. I went there. I took a girl on a date there. Nuts. In Brookfield, Illinois. The whole world. It's right here. Nuts. I didn't believe it. My friend told me. And then I witnessed it myself.
game, Stinky Feet. Apparently, this place used to be a failed Margaritaville casino that was converted into a family resort, which would explain the giant arcade floor. And as I explored a bit more and saw a pool and a theme park attached, I started to realize just how many Jimmy Buffett quotes echoed throughout the halls. They were on screens, in elevators, near the pool. I got people
no, it's
talking
not by the
about
zoo.
Jimmy to each other and to me. The quotes were all
The zoo
about
is in
living
Hollywood,
his
or by
lifestyle,
Hollywood.
and it started to feel like
This
I booked a
is
one-night
Brookfield.
stay into a Jimmy
I know it's called the
Buffett
Brookfield
cult.
Zoo, but
After that, I met up with
no,
Ted to
it's
go to
not by
dinner,
the
which
zoo.
was located above the arcade next to the volcano rock climbing wall. The menu was different
It's on
here,
Ogden.
with a flaming crawfish dip that Ted and I really enjoyed. And
Oh,
I didn't
Rotetta!
really want another fried meal,
shit.
but this was Mississippi, and
Fuck.
they had a catfish platter,
I gotta
so
catch
I went
Rotetta.
for it. And it was pretty good, but I really should have listened to my gut on this one, because this fried food so frequently is starting to kill me. Then suddenly, an alarm went off. The room turned red and the volcano began to smoke. Like that time Justin Bieber used a smoke machine on his fans. It continued on for a while until the smoke stopped and this happened.
it's called the burp.
What the fuck was that?
The fucking burp.
Then after our meal, we hit the arcade.
All right, Ted, go easy on him. Ted, go easy on him. Ted.
And just before the whole thing closed, I played one final game of the world famous Stinky Feet. The thing is, you need 2 players to play Stinky Feet, and Ted was busy on another game. So I charged my card twice and decided to play by myself. When a child no older than 4 walked up, grabbed the water gun, and started playing next to me without saying a word.
What
And
the
after
fuck?
a fierce battle, I won.
How did I not catch
beat the
Rotetta?
child. I am the king of Stinky Feet. Today started with a lunch at the Margaritaville in Destin, Florida. Now, this Margaritaville was directly on the water. Unlike, say, the one at Universal City Walk, this one was not themed to be on a beach. It just actually was on a beach. Our lunch here was going to be my first of 2 Margaritaville meals in the day. I got an Uptown Margarita, even though I'm getting pretty tired of having sweet cocktails so often, and also got the jerk salmon. The drink was fine, and the salmon was actually pretty good, especially after a bunch of days of fried and road trip food. The view of our meal also featured a bunch of weird boats. That was just really fun for me to see a lot of boats that looked like they're not supposed to be on the water. We then paid the check and got ready to drive just an hour and a half before we had another Margaritaville meal in Panama City Beach. The PCB location was at this boardwalk area called Pier Park. And even though it was a little bit cloudy, this location was right on the water and beautiful yet again, which was a great distraction because the last thing I wanted to do an hour and a half after my last meal was to eat a meal at the same restaurant in a different location. The interior was pretty big and elaborate compared to some we had seen, but the place was super busy, so Ted and I opted to sit at the bar. I was still so full from the salmon, but I decided to get a chicken quesadilla for my food and a what the fuck was it called? A Ruby Red Renegade for my cocktail. Why did I choose it? Because the name of the vodka in it was called Deep Eddy, and that's my name, so I got it. Even though we were both full and exhausted,
There we
at
go.
least Ted and I had a perfect view of a very blue-tinted TV screen that exclusively showed Jimmy Buffett's Instagram posts, and boy, does this guy know how to post. You had to kind of squint to see what the pictures were because the tint of the TV screen was so blue, but this guy's posting feet for free. Jimmy, you are a celebrity. You can charge for those puppies. Then we headed to the beach to see the sunset. And wow, this was absolutely beautiful. I had a great time wiggling my toes in the sand and staring at the sunset. But you don't get to see my toes because you didn't pay me. In the last 6 days, we had driven over 35 hours and over 2,000 miles. And my stomach was absolutely full of 2 Margaritaville meals. But either way, I couldn't deny that this trip had brought me to such a beautiful spot. Ted and I were even lucky enough to see dolphins out there swimming in the water. I don't think the dolphins saw us, but if they did and are watching this, you saw my toes for free and you owe me money. The drive today was a big one, going from Panama City Beach to Hollywood Beach, Florida. And I'll be honest, it was pretty taxing. Not only was it a 9-hour drive, but we had multiple stretches of heavy rain. Well, I'm from Florida and the rain isn't such a big deal. Shut up. Okay, shut up and go tell Mickey Mouse I do not care. Rain is slippery and slippery is dangerous. We got to the Margaritaville Hotel completely exhausted. This was another massive building. It featured a chandelier of margaritas and what seemed to be a Jimmy Buffett museum lining the hallway. The restaurant was attached to the hotel, so we sat down exhausted and starving. Now, this menu was a bit classier than other locations. We ordered a shrimp ceviche and poke nachos. Both were pretty good, unlike my ginger margarita, which was not great. But my entree, the lemon tahini bowl, made this the best meal we had so far. Turns out the best meal you can have at Margaritaville is when you have food that isn't from the standard Margaritaville menu. And after an exhausting day, having some decent food and drinks was exactly what I needed. They also had a live band playing, and for the first time at Margaritaville, I was feeling it. I had Jimmy fever. Jimmy's concert footage was playing on screen, and it was a comforting presence after a hard day. After dinner, Ted let me know that he had to last minute record something for his channel, so he got a separate room and I got ours all to myself. But lucky for me, I was kept company because Jimmy was on the hotel TV.
Hi, it's me, Jimmy. Thank you for escaping to Margaritaville. For many years, Margaritaville was only a song about a mythical place. Now, Margaritaville is real.
Watching the hotel TV made me realize just how strikingly handsome and charming Jimmy was.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this for 1 second.
And remember, thin.
Okay. Sorry.
Fins up, Jimmy. Waking up on day 8, we had 2 Margaritavilles on the schedule. The first on the list was in Miami. As we headed into the city, we spotted the coolest guy that's ever lived.
What's he doing? Oh, he's flying like a plane.
And then we pulled up to the Miami Margaritaville, which was right on the water. At this point, I am about to give up on trying one cocktail at every Margaritaville. We just drank last night, and it's not even just about the alcohol, it's the sugar when you're having cocktail after cocktail. But for now, I got the last mango in Paris, and good for me, this is one of the best cocktails I've had so far. But a little hungover and exhausted, I spotted a familiar face. I looked up and saw Jimmy once again on the screen, as if to say, "You're all good, pal. Have a good time." I ordered the grilled fish tacos, which for Margaritaville were pretty damn good. Now, if this were at a good taco stand somewhere, they would be mediocre to kind of bad. But for now, they're hitting the spot. Then it was time to book it to Key West, Florida. We got lucky on the drive and just narrowly avoided this storm. But I gotta say, once we actually hit the highway to Key West, this drive was absolutely beautiful. If you're unaware, the Florida Keys are a collection of islands off the mainland of Florida. In American culture, these islands are pretty famous. I'm sure you've heard the Beach Boys talk about it, or our boy Jimmy Buffett himself, whose entire culture around his songs is really based in Key West, Florida. We made our way through the Keys, and I was excited because Key West was the location of the original Margaritaville. But before we arrived, just a quick word from our sponsor. Hey guys, I just bought this new desk and I was a little worried it would be too big, but I'm happy with it. I think it's the perfect size. I want to thank SoFi for sponsoring this video because it was not cheap to make. SoFi is an all-in-one finance app helping you bank, borrow, and invest. Their checking and savings lets you earn up to 4.4% APY, which is 10 times the national savings rate average. Your typical savings account at your local bank earns you just 0.42% in interest, which is way less. Can you do math? Because that's way less than what I just said. If you're new to high-yield savings accounts, they're pretty responsible ways to store your money. It's basically an account that makes your money work harder for you by giving you something back in interest. And with SoFi checking and savings, you get paid up to 2 days early, pay no account fees, and can cash up to $250 when you sign up for direct deposit. And as a nationally chartered bank with SoFi, your money is FDIC insured. And very exciting, with this video, SoFi is giving away $10,000 to one of you. All you have to do is open a SoFi checking and savings account using my link. That link is SoFi.com/Eddie with a Y. So click the link in the description or scan that QR code on screen to have a chance to win the 10K. Okay, I'm gonna enjoy my big desk, back to the road trip. And as we arrived to the first Margaritaville restaurant, I was pretty surprised by how local it felt. I mean, the rest of the Margaritaville locations we went to felt like a big and branded American chain. And while this one was definitely still themed, it felt more preserved from another time rather than this huge corporate thing. We were feeling pretty good, so Ted and I decided to order some drinks. I got a Who's to Blame because it's from the lyrics of the Margaritaville song. I decided to get a cheeseburger in Paradise because it just felt right to get at this location. Everything was just going really well. My burger tasted a little bit more like a local burger than a chain burger. And in such a tropical location, I mean, how can you not enjoy yourself? After being done with dinner, we headed to the hotel. Yet again, I am happy we had a sponsor for this thing because, oh my god, I would not be paying for this shit by myself. The location was right on the beach, so after checking in, we decided to go relax and see the sunset. Last year, when we did our Rainforest Cafe road trip, it was fun, but also incredibly taxing. But the last few days on the beach were just too beautiful to stress about this entire road trip. And that's when it finally happened. Staring out at the water, I felt my stress melt and wash away with the tides. Even though we'd driven over 40 hours in 8 days, and even though my last 5 meals in a row were all Margaritaville, I got it. I understood. Jimmy Buffett wasn't just some guy who turned one-hit song into a corporate empire. He's the king of being chill and enjoying yourself. Right where my toes wiggled in the sand is where Jimmy started this whole thing. I can't do this trip like Eddie would. I have to do it like Jimmy, because no matter how stressed I get in life, mentally, I have to be just like Jimmy Buffett. You come to a place like this, and you can forget about wars, famine, class disparity. I mean, all that stuff is still happening, but I'm in Florida and I had a margarita today. Liking Buffett isn't some weird cult thing. It's what can fix me. The next morning, I woke up feeling better than I ever have in my entire life. And as I was going through my bag, I mysteriously found an article of clothing that I had never packed. This shirt not only looked great on me, but also had put itself on my merch website, yikeshop.com, and you can get it by going there or clicking the link in the description? What the hell? That's so weird. Anyways, I felt refreshed and was ready to head back to mainland Florida. Today's plan was just to drive up to Orlando and stay at the Margaritaville Resort there. We decided to give ourselves one break day because it's near the halfway point, and then the next day we'd be going to Universal Studios Orlando, where there's a Margaritaville restaurant at their City Walk. The resort in Orlando was giant. Now, Ted was a little bit late to the bookings of the resort, but luckily, even though they ran out of rooms at the hotel, they had these cottages for him to stay in. I instantly just felt relaxed, surrounded by my favorite quotes from my favorite guy. Oh, and also, it was nice to be with my lovely girlfriend, Chrissy.
Margaritaville.
Chrissy actually wrote a song last year about wanting to live her life at Margaritaville, but unfortunately for her, that's my life now, so that's my thing. The two of us had a bit of a date night and had a fun night walking around Disney Springs, enjoying the sights, and just having a nice time. Today is not as interesting. We were just hanging out in Orlando. I got footage of this manatee eating some lettuce, so that's pretty cool. We were also hanging out with... Did you get it? We were hanging out with Drew Gooden, my good friend Drew Gooden. But Drew and Amanda did join us on the Rainforest Cafe trip in Orlando last year. So I figured, of course, I would ask them if they wanted to do it again. Do you want to go to Margaritaville?
It's just one dinner.
I'm not eating dinner right now. Again. It's tomorrow. Your place. You live here anyway. I want to go home. You can do it whenever. I don't want to.
Back when we were in Biloxi, I feel that I was a bit misguided in how I felt about Jimmy. Staying at our third Margaritaville resort brought me so much comfort. Jimmy was constantly speaking to me and reminding me to be calm, to breathe in and appreciate the beach, and also to drink alcohol. Leaving the resort, though, we were headed to Universal Studios Islands of Adventure because Margaritaville was located just outside the park at City Walk in Orlando. Before we entered the park, Chrissy got this awesome hat. I also tried on a hat that I was totally pulling off. Am I pulling it off? But I decided against it because I didn't want everyone at the park to be jealous of me today. We then entered the park, and immediately Ted got something called Who Hash, which is, a Dr. Seuss themed food that looks like it's served out of a dog food can.
Cindy, that's her name.
Cindy Lou Who.
Tastes like Cindy Lou Who. Or, I don't know, the mayor.
We then spent the day going on rides and having fun, but right before we left, Chrissy and I decided to go on the Cat in the Hat ride. This ride was absolutely terrifying.
What? Oh, Sid, you're fucking...
What the hell is this?
I know I'm on YouTube.
Is this supposed to
I
be
know.
for children? Because this would absolutely terrify me as a kid. It terrified me right now. And after being absolutely traumatized by the Cat in the Hat ride, we decided to go to the Margaritaville just outside. This one had an extra bar across the walkway with a plane next to it, and this is where I figured out that every time you see a plane in Margaritaville, it's a replica of Jimmy's personal seaplane, the Hemisphere Dancer. Wait a minute, quick clarification here, this is the actual fucking plane. They retired Jimmy's plane and it is decoration at the Margaritaville in Orlando. I was next to Jimmy's real plane and I had no idea. I'm such an idiot. When we sat down for dinner, I got the Huli Huli chicken and shrimp, and this dish, sucked. The chicken was fine, but the shrimp was really dry. But hey, just like my favorite guy, I spent the day in the sun, I ate some food and had a margarita by the water, and also got to see Margaritaville employees on stilts. It's always fun to see somebody on stilts. You're not supposed to be that tall, and I'll be quite honest, it'd be funny if you fell over. The next day, I had to say goodbye to Chrissy as we headed out from the Margaritaville Resort.
Whoa.
To meet at the truck, we had to head to the cottages that Ted was staying in, and I got a good look at this neighborhood. Who would have thought that Jimmy also owns full neighborhoods across the country? And normally this would make me feel kind of weird, but I'm just glad that they're providing housing to those in need. Retired people in Orlando. Once again, we hit the road, headed for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, we're not eating at the Margaritaville there tonight. We're actually doing it tomorrow afternoon, which is great because my stomach is on fire. But I've learned from Jimmy, you know, all of it is worth it at the end of the day when you're rewarded with a tropical location. And looking at the rest of the trip, I can't wait to explore the other tropical locations this nation has to offer. Margaritaville's in places like Atlanta, Georgia, Syracuse,
let's watch.
New York, or Cleveland, Ohio. So yeah, I might be speaking too soon, but I'm pretty confident that I totally won't get tired of Margaritaville. When we woke up in Myrtle Beach,
he's going to every Margaritaville in America. Jeez, oh, you just got here. Apparently, Sid. Okay. Jeez. This is the whole, all the Margaritavilles.
Except for the giant Margaritaville hurricane on the ceiling hovering above one of their giant blenders. Due to the fact that I was going to have Margaritaville a second time today, I decided to take it easy and get a grilled chicken sandwich. The sandwich was, wet. It didn't seem like this was butter or anything. It tasted like water. I'll be honest. This morning, I am out of energy and my chicken sandwich is super bland. Normal Eddie would be bland,
all right.
But it was like
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty fucking tired right now.
Warm hands on my
the chat is really not popping tonight.
Pictured myself on the beach. Pixelated
so I think I might call it a night.
Suddenly,
we have a pool party tomorrow, so
again. Immediately after Heroes Harbor, we had to book it to Atlanta, Georgia. Our schedule was very tight, so we had to get to Atlanta before we went to bed that night. Because the next day,
unless you're gonna talk in the chat, I'll stay up. But I don't feel like it's popping tonight. Like last weekend, it was popping.
Stuck on the highway.
I might just lay myself down to rest.
The delay was so long that we ended up calling the Margaritaville and asking when they
we'll
closed.
Go to the fuck to sleep before. Yeah, I should.
PM. Luckily, they said the kitchen was open until 11, so we were fine if we got there an hour early. But when we arrived, we found the doors were locked.
Okay, all right.
And when we asked one of the employees,
I'll
they
at
said
least
they
wait.
closed the kitchen early. This would completely ruin the next week of planning for us. But Ted threw a Hail Mary.
We'll see.
And
so
told
next
them that we
week,
were going to
I'll have my
country,
new home with my stream.
Tonight, but we didn't want to bother them.
And
so if there was any way
I'm
they
doing
could
my
even
best.
give us
I'm
like
in a
a
room,
bowl of chips to eat.
But
that
next
would be
week I'm gonna
enough.
do it. Well,
And the
I'm gonna close
manager
the
said,
stream.
I got you. So they had us sit down, and the bar was open, but the kitchen was absolutely closed.
Yeah,
They
it's
got
going to
us
be before the
margaritas
first,
and
the
then brought out
29th
a
is when I can
piping hot
move
plate
in.
of
So
ribs,
July
fries,
29th.
and spinach and artichoke dip. Ted and I were kind of in disbelief because
6
they
days.
had no reason
6
to
days.
do this for us, but they just did it because they saw we kind of needed some
And then
help
I'll
with our
have my-
extremely stupid
my
road
Twitch
trip.
room
And
that
all
I've
the
always
manager asked
wanted,
was that we just
that
give
I've been
her a
waiting
good
for.
Google and Yelp review. So we absolutely did that. We of course left a tip.
That I've
And I
been
just
waiting
gotta say,
for
this is not
fucking
me praising
months.
the Margaritaville Corporation. It was just every single employee in there was so
But anyway,
nice to
yeah, I'm
us.
pretty tired. I'm gonna just call it a night. We're gonna have fucking. What's the place? Yeah, it is. Streeterville is like, it's straight up fucking downtown Chicago next to Navy Pier by the boardwalk or the Riverwalk. It's a really gnarly place. So yeah, I'm just gonna call sleep. I'm gonna go to bed, get ready for tomorrow, and then once I get my place up, set up and shit, we're back. We're back to Taylor the Hater shit. All right, but yeah, I'm just tired. So we're gonna be back, boys. We're gonna be back. Just give me a little bit more time. I'll be back. Hustle, thanks for being here. All right, I'm gonna end this stream. I'm fucking tired. I'll see you guys very, very fucking soon. Thank you for being here.